Welcome to the Tech Ranch, live and local here on Super Talk 1270. The latest gadgets, online security, websites and apps, social media, and so much more. How can technology help you? Let's find out. It's time for the Tech Ranch on Super Talk 1270.
From our studios in beautiful Mandan, North Dakota, along the mighty Missouri River, here is your guru of geek, Marlo Anderson.
Hey, everybody. We're streaming to you live. Actually, I guess since they streaming. Although maybe that is the right term.
Yeah, I think so.
For what we're doing. But here we are in Las Vegas at CES 2018. Today is Media Day here, and we're going to be, I think, probably getting a lot of information put into our heads today with all the new products that come out. CES 2018, by the way, they're expecting over 250,000 new products to be introduced in the next 4 days here. 250,000. And this is also the biggest media event on the planet. There's over 10,000 media that are here. But you think about that, there's only 10,000 of us that are going to cover 250,000 products. So, and because of that reason, we have our crack team here, Nick Ressler with Awesome 2 Products, our scareologist, I guess you could say. We'll be talking a little bit about antivirus stuff today. Dave Blair is also with us, rocking Dave Blair. And, of course, not in our room today, but John Nagel is also helping us cover CES, as well as Alice Anderson. So we have quite a team. We'll be bringing you all kinds of coverage this week coming from CES. So, Dave, what's your impression so far?
Well, you know, this was the first time that I stayed downtown in Vegas, so it was pretty interesting. Even though we got in late last night, some pretty good entertainment. In fact, Nick can probably comment on the Elvis impersonator that really did a pretty good job out there, huh?
Yeah, well, yesterday was Elvis' birthday.
So you met Elvis last night.
And he was on stage. My theory is Elvis is not dead. He lives in Vegas, and every once in a while he forms as an impersonator.
Yeah.
And this guy was really, really good. He was really good.
Yeah, that's great. That's the wonderful thing about being
there. It was amazing when I was standing there. A lot of older, elderly people were standing there, and there was a fireman from New York that actually assisted in the 9/11 fire.
Wow.
And he struck up a conversation with me, and he was telling me about the music and how it was the best music, and I told him it was also the best of time.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. So, yeah, we were just making this observation as we're wandering around this morning, trying to find a place to broadcast from, actually. The place that we were going to was actually closed. They don't open until 11 a.m., and it's in part of a kind of a bank, and the security that you have to have for an event like this is just absolutely amazing. And, of course, with the recent shooting down here in Vegas, that's brought everything to light with that, too. So I guess we're going to be dealing with, this is different times for us again because of that.
Yep.
So, absolutely. So, anyway, but we're going to get into this. We're not going to get into all the bad side of our lives, of course. We're going to have a little fun today. For the most part, we are going to talk a bit about antivirus and Kaspersky and the issues with that. We haven't had a chance to deal with or talk about that in the last couple of months. We're going to talk about the hotel of the future today as well. I'm sure we're going to get into a little bit about autonomous vehicles and that type of thing, as well as my prediction, you guys, is that 2018 is going to be the year of augmented reality. I absolutely think that you're going to see a huge emergence of augmented reality. So, Dave, why don't you do your best at explaining what augmented reality is?
Well, you know, it's interesting. I just really got introduced to this maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago with advertising agency in Bismarck that had started working on augmented reality. And it was interesting. Marlo had just come back from Vegas, and we got together, and I said, I got some really cool stuff to share with you. So I was talking to him about augmented reality and how they took this app, I think it was called Layer, and utilize it to make an ad come alive. And so without really going into a lot of details, I think what we're going to be seeing, and what Marlo is referring to, is that you're going to see a lot more of this type of reality coming into play when it comes to marketing products, a whole new realm of advertising. The one thing that was really cool that you shared with me was this wine bottle that you put your phone on there, okay? You have to have the app for it. And the bottle comes alive. The guy starts talking and telling the whole history of this wine.
So it's really no different if you've never experienced this before. It's really no different than if you're going to take a photo. You know, the screen opens up on your smart device, but instead of taking a photo, it actually sees the image in front of you, and then something happens. It augments that image. You know, but it could be anything. I mean, it could be, I'm looking in the room right now, we have a whiteboard in front of us, there's some markers next to it. So those markers might trigger something, you know, or you're walking by a building and you hold your phone up to the building, and it might show you the daily specials for today. You're working on your car and you hold your phone up to the engine and it recognizes that, and it tells you, maybe in combination with the error code that your car is emitting, tells you how to fix it. I mean, these are the things that are going to be possible with augmented reality. So, Nick, you've seen the bottle, right?
Yeah.
What did you think of that?
It was mind-blowing. You know, you think about all the possibilities of using that, especially in promotion and advertising. It's just totally crazy.
I think it really, you know, and I know we're you know, excited about this technology now when it comes to advertising, and I actually feel that in 3 to 4 years, everybody's going to think it's the norm,
Yeah.
right? I mean, you know, what's wrong with this advertisement if there's not augmented reality with it, right? So I think that it's going to really change really quickly on the advertising side. And I'm excited for that too, you know. It's just that I really get a lot more excited about what's possible. I mean, is it possible that if somebody's suffering from a heart attack, that you can put your phone over that person and it'll show you what you need to do to save that person's life, right? I mean, these things, I think, are possible with augmented reality. Yeah, and I think this goes way beyond, I know we talk a lot about advertising because that's the low-hanging fruit right now, right? But I think as we move forward with augmented reality, a whole world really does open up.
Well, do you imagine when you're out there and you're on a trail and, you know, you can actually take your phone and shoot it at this image, and it will come to life. So a video will show up explaining what you're looking at. You know, they have that kind of stuff now, but this is so much more realistic. I mean, it just pops out at you.
Yeah, it really is. So, and Jim, I think we're at that point already, aren't we? All right. So after the break, everybody, we will continue our conversation. We are coming to you live from CES 2018 downtown Las Vegas right now, and we'll continue coverage after the break.
Currently 15.
Dave Ramsey is heard here. Super Talk 1270.
Follow the Guru of Geek at Facebook.com/The Tech Ranch or Twitter at Guru of Geek or TheTechRanch.com. Here again is your Guru of Geek, Marlo Anderson.
So we're broadcasting to you live from CES 2018 here in Las Vegas. We're actually sitting in a place called Work in Progress, and I've actually broadcast from here probably a half a dozen other times in the past. It is a co-working space downtown Vegas. So if you're in Vegas and you need a place to work, maybe get online, do a little internet work or whatever, this is a fantastic place. Work in Progress. You need to check this place out. A lot of major companies have actually launched from here, and because of the time when we were coming in, we should have walked. There's a stairwell, another stairwell in here, Dave and Nick, that when you go up the stairwell, they have a list of all the companies that started here.
Oh, wow.
It's amazing. So when we leave here, we'll check that out, right?
Yeah, we're kind of squatting here anyway.
We are.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we're doing, right? So we want to thank all our followers across the country and around the world. Follow us on the Blueberry Network. We're also on the Tech Podcast Network. If it's Tech, it's here on the Roku, iTunes, and, of course, tuned in our own app, Radio Pup. So Jim, you know, I don't know. I hope you're next to your microphone up there. Are you still listening to us? All right. So What are you expecting to hear about from CES 2018 this year?
Hang on here. I got to turn on the microphone so I can be on the radio.
All right.
Ask me that question again.
Okay, so coming from CES 2018, I mean, are you looking forward to maybe some new product announcements, some improvements on products? What are you looking forward to this year coming out of CES?
Well, from a personal aspect, of course, I'm interested in doing voiceover and fill-in talk show things on the internet, via the internet. So I'm very interested. I understand there is some new technology developing. In fact, it's already out on the market. I don't have the name of it off the top of my head, but there are new ways that you can actually do talk shows from your iPhone, and it sounds studio quality. Do you know anything about that yet?
Yeah, there'll be some of that stuff here as well, so we'll check into that for you too. So
I'm sorry, Q Go Live I have is the name of it. Q Go Live is the one that people are touting for me.
Okay.
Q Go Live.
We'll
check that out.
Yeah. How's that sound?
Very good.
All right.
You'll be able to do some broadcasting from the sunny beaches of Hawaii.
Or of North Dakota.
Or North Dakota.
Yeah, be talking about the latest winter storm, and I'll be sitting in Tahiti somewhere. You guys will be eating your hearts out.
There you go. So, how about you, Dave? What are you expecting this year?
I'm excited about. In fact, after we're done here, we're gonna run over to the Rio for the autonomous cars.
Okay.
Really, how far they've come, and you've heard us talk about what we're doing in that space in North Dakota with the North Dakota Automated Vehicle Collaborative, and then what really is going to be interesting in this whole Hyperloop new concept that. We were just talking about that last night as we were coming in about, the soft rail out there that you take from point A to point B. I mean, all the major cities having it. We're not that far away, I think, from these Hyperloops. So these tubes are going to shoot you from one direction to another.
Yep. So it's very similar to when you go to the bank. Right. And you're outside, and you go through the drive-up, and you put your money into the tube, and it shoots it up to the bank and sends it back. Imagine that moving people in freight. Yeah. And that's basically what we're talking about. See, they don't even know really how fast this thing can go. I mean, originally when they were talking about it, they were thinking about, over 700 miles an hour. But there's now, some people are actually saying that it's possible that this thing can go up to 4,000 miles an hour. But I don't know how where do you have space to make that happen, right? I mean, is that an LA to New York thing? Are you LA to New York in a half hour? I mean, you think about that. That's crazy. Yeah. I mean, it takes some time to get to that speed, I would imagine. It takes some time to slow down from that speed. So I don't think you're going to see anybody moving 4,000 miles an hour in a tube unless it's around the world type of thing. But with that said, even at 700 to 2,000 miles an hour, that's still significant. Yeah. And we'll move people around amazingly fast. I mean, I think about, when we were talking about the Hyperloop a couple of years ago when it first came out, imagine people working in Minot, North Dakota, or Bismarck, North Dakota, that work in the oil fields, right, up in Williston. They could live in Bismarck and take a Hyperloop to Williston and be there in 15 minutes. Yeah. It'd be really not a lot different than driving across town. So
it's how fast technology is moving, and this is a good example of that. And don't be too alarmed if you start seeing more and more of this media reporting on it and what this is.
Absolutely.
The other technology I'm kind of interested in is last year was my first experience at CES, and it just blew me away. It was just overwhelming. But I got a chance to interview a robot, and I was going to be funny to see how far that technology has come today.
It was, I love that piece that you did with the robot last year. That was probably the best thing that we did last year, is interviewing the robot. So, how about you, Nick? What are you looking forward to this year?
I'm hoping to see some, better technology as far as security.
Okay.
Both on the web and personal security.
So,
different tools that you can use, apps you can use to protect mainly your identity.
Yeah. So you're thinking that as you're out and about, the ability to protect your identity there, or Explain a little bit more what you're thinking.
As you're traveling, you're using the credit card.
Right.
I really get nervous when I pull up to a gas pump.
Right.
And you have to slide your
Yes.
credit card into the pump, because they have the skimmers
Right.
out there.
That are actually so small now that you can't even tell that they're on there. Yeah.
And, this was a weird one. It was actually an advertisement to protect your house. Somebody figured out how to pretty much take and copy your deed and your contract for your house.
Oh, yeah.
And put it up for sale and sell it, and you don't know until they start foreclosing on you for not paying it.
Right.
This is,
it's
crazy.
Yeah, people are actually stealing houses from other people. It's amazing what's going on. Right.
It's crazy. There's got to be an answer out there for better security.
I would imagine that we're going to start seeing, more. Security is probably the biggest concern we have across the board. When it comes to online security, I mean, everything is connected to the internet now. I mean, our power grid is connected to the internet. Now our cars are going to be connected. All of this stuff is going to be connected. So security, and especially if you're thinking about what job you should be getting, if you're going out of college or high school right now, if you go into security, you will be fine. So because this is going to be the number one job creation in the world, I think, is going to be security. Because everybody's going to have security on their special devices. I mean, our airplanes are going to need their own security. Our cars, our homes, like you're talking about. I mean, everything is going to need security.
I'm just wondering when it's going to come to point, and it kind of is already, is 2 or 3 forms of ID.
Right.
So that you can protect yourself from somebody else.
Right.
So how far is that gonna go?
And you think about so we have scanners now that scan your eye. Of course we have fingerprints. We have facial recognition. We have all of the stuff that's going on. Voice recognition, right? So I mean, you hold your iPhone up and it sees who you are, and then it allows you into your phone, for example, right? But we've all seen the movies, right, where somebody puts a mask on, and then that person looks like somebody else, so they drop a contact into their eye, and then that emulates somebody else's eye print. I mean, I always think that when somebody figures out a way to a new security method, that there's somebody out there that figures out a way to break it, right?
I wonder how far away we're from having a chip
that's implanted in us.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, they're doing it with dogs and cats and animals.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it goes back to how much is Big Brother going to take over our lives.
Yeah. To me, it's kind of scary. I don't know if. I don't know. And can they break that too? Then, Nick? That's the thing. I mean, if you have a chip implanted in you, and there's a way to read it, just like on your credit card, right?
Yeah.
If there's a way to read it, and there has to be, then somebody can figure out a way to. I mean, they just walk by you and skin you, and away you go.
It's crazy. This summer I went up to Lake Montana. I pulled into the parking lot of Walmart. And my phone went off and told me the specials that were on in that.
Oh yeah.
That Walmart
Yep.
store. So it knew I was there.
Right.
So imagine that.
Yeah. That's probably actually where most of this is going to go.
Well, you're allowing, on our phones, every time you put something on there, you have to allow or not allow.
Right. But last night, I have a new phone, and I was going through my settings last night. NFC is turned on, auto transfer was turned on, and I'm like, you're kidding me. Somebody else in this plane right now could actually just auto transfer files to me. This stuff is just automatically turned on. And the NFC thing is what happened with you. So if you have like the eye, I have one in my pack here actually. I can't remember the name of it. But anyway, it actually, if you get within a certain area, iBeacons is what they're called. Yeah. So that's what happened with the Walmart. They had an iBeacon. You got so close to it, it triggered your phone to say I have specials. There's all kinds of places in Vegas right now that run that as well. Nashville, Tennessee. Actually, they put iBeacons in their entire town. So all the businesses have it, the signs have it, all of the stuff has it. So,
the other thing that's really, and a lot of people aren't even aware of this, are these new little beacons that you can put in your car. and so you know where your car is. Because how many cars do you think get stolen in a year?
It's a crazy amount.
500,000 cars, okay? So, by the time you call it in, it might take 2 or 3 days to trace it down. By that time, they've disassembled took it apart, all the wheels and everything like that. But these beacons now will be able to broadcast exactly where that car is.
Yep.
It's all on satellite.
They got a device under there to shut it down. They shut
Yes.
the car down so they're driving maybe 3 or 4 blocks.
Yeah, exactly. All right, gentlemen, after the break, we will continue this conversation. We're going to get into the hotel room of the future, and you will not believe what we're going to be telling you about that. So come on back, everybody.
Currently 15.
On Twitter, Facebook, online, and YouTube. SuperTalk1270.com.
We're back to the Tech Ranch. Stream this program now at supertalk1270.com. Here is your guru of geek, Marlo Anderson.
And we're broadcasting live from Work in Progress. It's an amazing co-working space in just right off the downtown Las Vegas. We've broadcast here probably a half a dozen times in the past. We're here for CES 2018 and getting all geared up. Today is actually press day. Yesterday and today were press day. Tomorrow's the actual start of the show. But what's crazy about this, Dave and Nick, is that today is probably the busiest day we have, isn't it? It's amazing how many different things we have going on. So Nick, you're going over to Mandalay Bay. You and Alex going over there shortly, and you're going to be taking in all the press stuff. You've never done the Mandalay Bay thing before? Wow.
Boy, he's from Mandan.
Well, that's true, yes. So this is going to be a pretty amazing experience for you today. You're going to be introduced to probably CEOs of every major electronics corporation in the country. So, I mean, you might be surprised who walks by you. You might see an Elon Musk or, who's the head of Amazon? Bezos, Jeff Bezos. So, I mean, those people will probably be wandering around Mandalay Bay today. So, just letting you know. So, keep your camera handy. So, and Dave, you're heading on over to what's the event called? Well, it's autonomous vehicles. They have a name for the
event. There's a name.
Yeah.
There's a name for everything.
Yeah. And then, so you and Don are heading over there, and then I'm taking the drone rodeo this afternoon. I'm also at the affiliate summit, and that piece of it is about the advertising side of being on the internet. So websites like National Day Calendar.
And it fits right into our new media company.
It does.
365. So you'll be hearing more stuff about that. We decided that Marlo was gracious enough to say, hey, let's create our own media company and we can promote Tech Ranch and National Day Calendar and package and all of that stuff. So we're just launching it now.
I'll have to keep the money in North Dakota, right?
Let's do that.
Let's do that. So, all right. So let's talk a little bit about the hotel of the future, hotel room of the future. So Nick, what are your complaints about hotel rooms right now? Putting you on the spot here a little bit.
I don't.
You don't complain about them at all?
You understand. When I get a motel room, just to go in and relax and sleep.
Okay.
So,
and talk in your sleep.
I really don't have any preference. I mean, I've stayed in some low-end hotels and some high-end.
Sure.
And, I mean, just go in and get a good night's rest.
Yep.
On your own.
Yeah, one of the challenges with CES is that as crazy as it is, everybody knows how big Vegas is as far as hotel rooms. There's a shortage of them here. So, fortunately or unfortunately for Nick and Dave, they are roommates for the week.
Yeah. Well,
it'll be great.
It's not the worst thing in the world.
How about you, Dave? Is there anything that you would maybe like to see better in hotels?
I think a lot of times the control settings of temperature.
Okay.
And I'm one of these guys, I love it cold.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, and I'm just kind of wondering, I know now with a lot of the new beds and that kind of stuff. So if you have a wife, she might like a hard bed, and you might like a soft bed,
Right.
and same way in the room temperature.
Yep.
How do you differentiate that? And
Yep.
just saying, talking to the room and just saying, hey, I need to be at 66 degrees.
Well, I think that's probably one of the features.
It is.
Yeah.
It is on that.
Yeah. So
and Hilton's the one that's kind of leading the charge.
They really are. They really are. I mean, there's other ideas here too, but there are other companies that are going to do some things. But yeah, so they're integrating voice activation technology, I guess, activated
Yep.
technology, so similar to an Alexa.
Yep.
I should say Alexa do something right now, right? Because there are all kinds of people with Alexas that'll go crazy. Alexa, go listen to the Tech Branch on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I think if you go Alexa, listen to the Tech Branch podcast, it'll take you right there, won't it? Yeah. So there we go. Everybody's going to their Alexas right now. So first of all, instead of art in your room, they're going to put monitors up.
Yep.
And the monitors, as you check in, they're probably going to go look at your Facebook account or your Twitter account, and they're going to pull images right from there. So when you walk in, they're going to be images of your family, of your whatever, shown in your room. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, definitely.
It's better than sitting and looking at that piece of artwork that the hotel puts in there, like rolling dice or whatever. So, a hotel. I'm trying to read. Robotic butlers.
Mm.
So this will be interesting. So you'll have a butler at your beck and call anytime you want. I think that'll be cool. So I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. But
like Westworld.
It's kind of like Westworld, yeah. That could be interesting.
The bad thing about that is now your wife's not going to need you anymore.
That's a whole other show.
That is another show. Yeah.
This is interesting. A universal translator. So,
that I could see.
Yeah. So if you have somebody that you need to speak French to or whatever, your room will have the capability of doing that. That's pretty amazing.
Yep.
So, I mean, is it going to be, and I know you looked into this a little bit, Dave. I mean, is this part of the voice activation thing where you say, translate this in French and then you speak English to it and then bang? Wow.
Or dim the lights down. I mean, you think about all of the things that voice activation can do, or voice assistance.
Right.
It was funny because Nick was talking about that when he was driving in here, using his voice assistance through Google.
Right.
And to help him with directions.
Was that your first time using that?
No, I didn't even know I had it. You got to understand, I just got a smartphone just the first of the year.
Yeah.
What do you think of it?
Oh, my God. I couldn't live without it. Anybody out there, if you're using a flip phone and you haven't moved and got a smartphone, you really need to do it.
This is coming from somebody who used to call his phone a genius phone.
I know.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. I know, and people, I can understand them, the resistance and not wanting to move, because there's a little bit of a learning curve. But once, you learn the basics, and then you start playing around with some of the newer features. I mean, driving down here, using that for the weather, road report, directions, unbelievable. Just for that alone, and a simple thing like somebody asked me a question about my buddy in billing. I just punched in and asked the question, boom, there was the answer.
I always
like carrying Alexa in your pocket.
It is, yeah. I always look at it this way with some of these, with our devices, right? What's your return on investment on them, right? So it costs more. It costs more to have a smartphone. I mean, it's just how it is, because you got to have a data plan and all this other stuff goes with it, right? But do you actually benefit more than the cost of it? So do you have time savings because of that? Well, the answer is, yeah, you're right. It would be yes. Safety. Do you have more safety because of that? Do you actually save money because you have it? And person who does couponing and things like that, absolutely.
Well, with my carrier, I only pay probably $20 more a month.
That's pretty good.
The two smartphones and the third phone that my son has. And to me, that's nothing,
right,
considering what I got.
Right.
Yeah. Well, they're really the future where computers are going. We have it right in front of us.
Well, what's interesting here, right? I mean, I have a laptop with me, and I'm sure you guys both have laptops with you as well, right? We're not sitting in this room with a laptop right now.
No.
We all three have our smart devices with us.
In fact, I got a laptop and an iPad. Yeah. I'm carrying around, and it's heavy.
Yeah.
It's like
I have both laptop and an iPad.
Yep.
I never took it out of the case all the way down.
Right.
On my trip.
Yeah.
I just use my phone.
Yeah. Yeah, we're becoming more and more of a mobile all the time. So, absolutely. So, so what else? So we have the Sumo Bar. This is a mixologist robot built right into our rooms. Have you seen this thing? So it'll actually have certain types of alcohol in it, and you just say, hey, I want a martini, and it will mix you a martini. It's kind of crazy, actually. So, and
the other thing that you're going to see happening, too, is the new technologies and we'll see that at CES, the new TVs, the roll screens that hide in the wall, and then they come up, and I mean, this is like a movie screen, that it's just a film, and you're going to see that happening more and more in your house, but I think hotels will probably introduce that.
Probably first, at least the hotel rooms of the future, right? Because the cost of entry, for a Hilton, I mean, it's expensive probably to start, but these screens are actually starting to be used on our phones and things now, and they use. So, give you a little background on this. There was a doctor that didn't understand or was amazed by how jellyfish glow. So I always refer to these screens as jellyfish screens because he's the one that looked at that and kind of made this happen. It's been kind of slow rolling out because it's been expensive and of course, the research and development behind it, right? But now you're starting to see screens come out, and our screens in the future, even wide screens, you'll probably fold up like a piece of paper, put them in your pocket, and when you get someplace, you'll unwrap them, and that'll be your screen. Yep. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing what's going on with that technology. So I think we're at that. We're at break time already. Absolutely amazing. So after the break, everybody, we will continue the discussion from CES 2018, coming to you live from Work in Progress here in Las Vegas.
Currently 15.
The Red River Farm Network. Ag News is here on Super Talk 1270.
Follow the Guru of Geek everywhere he goes. Post your comments or questions at thetechranch.com. Once again, your Guru of Geek, Marlo Anderson.
And we're broadcasting to you live from Work in Progress downtown Las Vegas, here for CES 2018. Our CES team, a part of our team, Dave Blair and Nick Ressler, are here. We have two others that will be out and about over the course of the week as well. So be looking for more reports through Town Square Media during the week as we have our coverage going on here from CES with all the great announcements. So we wanted to get into this. We haven't got into this for a while for the antivirus stuff, Nick. So I know we call you our scareologist here because we always have you on Halloween to scare people, but Kaspersky. So this came out about a month and a half ago about the antivirus product Kaspersky. So tell us a little bit about that.
It's pretty much run by Russians.
Okay.
Everybody knows how bad they are.
So they've been basically using Kaspersky. I mean, and it's genius, right? Yeah. You pay $50 for antivirus, so they make money on that, and they're stealing your stuff.
Pretty much.
Unbelievable. So if you're running Kaspersky on your computer, wow.
Yeah.
That's all I'm
really
saying.
need to do some research on that, and you got to get smarter about using your devices online. One of the things that when you talk about antivirus, there really is no bulletproof antivirus.
Right.
You have to get smarter about using your computers and your devices and recognize the scam. And you got to get educated about them. If you think about it, I could absolutely make security on the internet as far as scams 100 proof by just simply doing one thing: educating the public not to fall for the scam. If the scammers didn't make any money,
Right.
they would go away.
Right.
Honest to God, people, you don't give people your credit card. You don't give them your Social Security number. Somebody calls you out of the blue, treat it like a rattlesnake. Don't answer. Get away from it.
Yeah.
I mean, the general public is making it so easy for these scammers. I mean, it's ridiculous.
And I think the other thing is that the products that we buy, right? We should investigate where this stuff is coming from, because there is no ramification. I mean, what can we do in the United States against Kaspersky, or whatever, however they pronounce it, right? We really can't go after them. What do we do with the scammers coming out of Nigeria and whatever? I mean, the United States can only reach so far, right? But if you deal with companies in the United States, we have a significant way to get after them. I mean, if they break the law, we can take it. We can send them to jail, right? So why don't we support? I mean, it might cost a couple dollars more for each of us to do this, but let's buy products made in the United States, because there's ramifications if they are not who they say that they are. You know, another great example of this, and I mean, I own one of these, and I thought about this a year and a half ago when I was putting the app on, and I'm flying it around, right? My drone. I have a DJI drone made in China. They're the world's biggest producer of drones for the general public, right? I put the app on there, and right away it comes up in Chinese, and I'm reading through it, right? I'm just deciding as I'm going through this thing that I wonder where they're storing all this video. Well, it comes out a few weeks ago that basically the Chinese government is spying on us with DJI.
You bought the equipment that they're using, paid them so that they could spy on it.
And now there's millions of them flying around our skies, and everything that you're using through their app is going right back to them. So they don't have to have spies over here. They don't have to have satellites flying or planes flying over the top of us. Our own population is spying on us.
See, I feel the same way about routers.
Yeah, same thing.
You buy a router made in China.
Yeah.
And so you're marrying your internet and all your devices to that router.
Yep.
And all the stuff you transfer back and forth. How easy is it for them to have a chip in there that sends it over to them?
Most people believe that there are chips in there. They don't understand what they're for. Yeah. So this is going on all over. What's your take on this, Dave?
Well, I got hacked into this summer, and Nick had to clean me up. And he did it in a very nice way. Hey, Dave, do a couple things. Back up your system, obviously, but don't fall, which I did. I fell for a scam. A virus thing came on my computer, and I had to react to it right now, or I was going to lose all my data. And, of course, right away I got caught up into that. It was a group out of India, and, I had to shut down the computer. Thank God it didn't affect the rest of the machines there or computers at my office. But I had to start all over again. I had to get all new credit cards and everything like that, because all that data was in there. So I learned the hard way. Well,
and I think if you have like Kaspersky on circling back around to that, right? You have Kaspersky on your computer right now. If that's the virus protection that you're running, you need to get rid of it. Yeah. And you probably need the first thing I would do is I'd change all my bank passwords. I would probably call my credit card companies and get new credit cards issued, because sooner or later, and this is the trick that a lot of people they fall into this false sense of security, because, oh my goodness, I did something wrong, but nothing's happening, so I must be okay. Well, scammers know this, right? It's like when you go up to a gas pump and you use your credit card there, right? And you're thinking, I wonder if I got skimmed there or not. And you go home from Las Vegas or whatever, right? And then 2 months later, you start getting these weird charges on your credit card bill. It's because they hold that information for a while, let you get confident again, and then that's when they get you.
So there's another thing out there. Anything that's offered on the internet for free is not.
I agree.
It's paid somewhere. And there's a little program out there, and you and I both used it. C cleaner.
Yeah.
been heavily compromised. If you got C Cleaner on your computer, get rid of it.
I loved C Cleaner for years.
I know. And just think about it. Like people go and say, well, I got this free antivirus. Really? You get what you pay.
Yeah. And generally speaking, I mean, they have to be compensated one way or the other, right?
One way or another.
So if they're offering a free product, how are they being compensated? Are they gathering data? That's probably what they're doing, right? What I really love is like when you go and download a flashlight app.
Yeah.
Have you done this?
Yeah.
You download a flashlight app, and the first thing it asks you is, can I have access to your contacts? You're a flashlight app. Why do you need access to my contacts? You say no to that. Next thing comes up, can I have access to your GPS? You're a flashlight app. Why do you need access? Yeah, your location. And I'm just like, no. So it's a free flashlight app, but they want all this information about you so they can sell it to whoever. That's what it's about. So, yeah.
One thing that we should back up on, and I think is important, and this goes back to Celebrate Every Day National Day calendar, was on January 6th.
Yeah.
What was the National Day?
It was
Technology
Day. It was.
Yeah.
It's kind of a big deal on Saturday, actually.
Yeah.
So a lot of companies were pushing stuff out, the precursor to CES. So absolutely. It's actually Clean Off Your Desk Day today as well, which we may have to do after we're done here. So,
well, hey, guys back at the office, don't do that.
Yeah.
To mine. I'm not there.
Yeah, find nothing. That's absolutely right. Well, I know we're getting to the last part of the show here, guys. So, all right, last take on CES, Nick. What are you looking forward to this year?
Again, hopefully find some answers on security.
Okay.
And things that can use the better enhanced product.
Okay. Dave, how about you?
Well, I mentioned, the autonomous vehicles and the robots, but the other thing that I'm really interested in is 3D printing.
Yeah, me too.
I think it's come such a long way, and I can't even imagine what it looks like this year. But last year, actually, you could take a picture. They could scan my face, and then they could create a 3D image of my face. And that's scary enough to have another big player on it. Thank God there's nothing inside, but that probably matches up with what I have anyway. So.
Yeah, I think I'm with you guys. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to so Lyft, in combination with another company, is running 26 autonomous vehicles on the street during CES. So I'm looking forward to. I've been in, I think it's 27 different autonomous vehicles now myself, but not one that was actually what would be deemed as road ready. Well, I take that back. Shuttles I've been in are transporting people. So mostly it's been experimental type of thing. It's going to be fun this year to get a ride in something that actually is a functioning unit that people can hop in and do. So I'm looking forward to that.
I'm excited for that too.
Of course, we talk about augmented reality. We played around a little bit with it, but I have a feeling at CES this year we're going to see amazing things with augmented reality. Things are just going to, we're so blown away by the wine bottle, but I think that's just the tip of the iceberg, and I think we're really going to see a lot of cool stuff there. So, how about in communications? Are you thinking? I mean, like wristbands, fitness, Fitbits, that type of thing. Anything there?
Well, yeah, TVs on your watches. I mean, you see those devices now and how much they're capable of doing.
Yeah. And I guess at that point, we got to wrap it up, guys. Again, Dave, Nick, I appreciate it. Jim, appreciate it back at the studio. And look forward to bringing back reports all week long from CES 28. And we appreciate everybody joining in today. Have a great week, everybody.